Man, sometimes I don't know if this man is trolling or is he serious. The funny thing, I used to actually like Gilbert Arenas as a player, right? Back when I was in my teenage years. Thought he wasn't getting enough respect. Thought he should have. Skip almost 20 years later, and me oh my, this man would be off his rocker just to get some views. We know he said plenty of crazy, silly things, but I think the latest is just. It's no words to explain it. So, as we all know, he's a 4-time All-Star, and apparently, I think on one of his shows, it could have been, I think it was on his show, he said he has a plan on how to make the NBA game more balanced on both sides of the floor to address the lack of defense intensity. And this is what this idiot says: get rid of all Europeans. I don't know if he's serious or not, but he said this during his most episode, a Gil's Arena show. I guess everybody laughed about it, including Kenyon Martin, who's been on that show, I think, now. But he truly believes that the NBA changed the rules to accommodate the European style and European players, taking away the aggression to open up the Euro League. They softened the rules to open up the international. So what he's trying to say that the NBA has made it easier for the Europeans to play over here. I got something to say about that. But reading this from an article, because I'm not going to look for the video for it, and reading this proceeded to elaborate and analyze his thoughts. Kenyon Martin, you said it. You go to college to learn defense. What college do Europeans go to? They have no athleticism. They have no speed, no jumping ability. They are a liability on defense. There are 150 Euros in the league today. Name the top defenders, none. But he goes on to name Rudy Gobert and Greek Giannis. But he just said they have no jumping ability, no speed. They're not athletic. But Rudy Gobert, especially Giannis, are. Other than that, they are offensive players. They are defensive players, right? And let's see here right quick. I'm reading this from an article. Darius Johnson Odom, former Marquette guard from I wouldn't say back in the day, from a couple years ago. I don't remember. Gil don't have no idea what he talking about. LOL. Ask the NBA players who played in Europe. European players couldn't keep it up athletically. That's it. Physically is 5 times in Europe. That is true. Silly Gilly. Let me start from what he first said. So he said the NBA took away the aggression to open up for Europe players. They softened the rules to open up the international. From what I heard from playing overseas, and what I've been hearing probably for the last 20 years, that the Euro leagues over there, the foreign leagues over there, they don't play. It's not this tit for tat calls you be calling. You actually have to file someone for them to call the calls. Secondly, I heard the foreign courts over there, EuroLeague courts over there, a little bit narrower, smaller than the NBA courts. It makes it harder for players that are on the offensive side to get open and create a shot to get to the basket. They don't need college. Some of these dudes are trained in basketball probably from age 12, because they be entering some of these adult leagues for some of these European countries around the ages of 12 and 13 and 14. Examples of that, I can think of Luka was in there at an early age. Most of the European players that I've seen they played at NBA, they weren't soft. They was tough. Some probably do have some liability on defense, Luka. But Luka, if he puts his mind to it, I think anybody can play defense. They put their mind to it. You may not have to be the absolute total best defender out there, but if you put your mind to it and put pride into playing defense, you can stop some people. I believe people like Luka can do that. You don't have to do that to get somewhere. Even Dirk realized that to get somewhere. I don't think they soften the rules to open up the international. They soften the rules to make the game more relatable or more exciting to the normies. So that's why this inflated scoring is going on as it is today with all the three-pointers. The Europeans are just taking advantage of it. Even Luka said it's harder to play. Luka and Giannis said it's harder to play overseas than it is to play in the NBA. Gilly, silly Gilly. Did you not hear that a couple years ago from you, Luka? And Giannis backed it up. What else did he say? They say you go to college to learn defense. I already covered that up because some of these dudes be playing ever since the age of 12 and 13, entering into these pro leagues. They've been playing for a while. The defensive players European players have a different defensive tenacity. Even the ones that are not known, not the famous ones like Luka, Jokic and Giannis. We all know Giannis has that defensive aggression. Ask the Bulls from Friday night about that. I remember Manu Ginobili being one of those tough dudes out there. The man was just something to deal with. And all the American players can attest to that. Even the late Kobe Bryant even can attest to that. So what is Gil saying? And I'm glad Darius Johnson-Odom kind of said something about that. Because I think he did play overseas as well from Marquette. But looking back at Darius Johnson-Odom's resume, he played in Italy, France. Trying to look at all the teams he played in Romania. So he knows what he's talking about. If you guys are familiar with Darius Johnson-Odom, like I say, he used to play at Marquette. He was drafted in the NBA in 2012 by the Dallas Mavericks, 55th overall pick. Played on the Lakers for like a year and went to the D League, but went overseas for some time. And then came back. He played in Russia. He played in Greece. And he played in China for a couple of games. So I think he knows what he's talking about. So I'm glad there's somebody out there that can go at Gil's silliness. But here's the thing I want to make. The last point I want to make right quick. Because he's calling out these European players saying get rid of them and improve the defense. But I do clearly remember probably about 2 weeks ago, I went off on Damian Lillard for not showing any aggressiveness, any pride, or any want to play defense. Right? Y'all remember that video. Damian Lillard is not from Europe. He's from Oakland, California. James Harden, at times, most times, lacks defensive intensity. Trae Young, we never seen it. Is he even playing defense out there? Just a few examples. And those guys are all from America. So what the hell is Gilbert Arenas talking about? These European players show more heart, effort, pride playing basketball over here in the NBA than our own Americans. Because our Americans, we know, I'm not even going to have to go there. We know some of them like to, let's just say, live off the land. I watched some of these foreign players play today. And you can see the difference between some others that are not American. That are American, and some are European. So I don't know what the hell is he talking about. Yes, some of them are not the best athletes, but shoot, you can't doubt their heart. So, yeah, I don't know what this guy be talking about, but I think I know he does this. Like I said, he does this to get clicks over to that channel, which I don't really think he has to like that. Maybe he does. I don't know. But to say that to get rid of all the Europeans, some people might take that offense to that as well. Let me see right here real quick. But I wonder if Gilbert actually watched a European game. I watched one of them, and some of those games are more intense than the NBA games. But I wonder if he ever checked out one. There was another stat right quick. Let me see. There was another stat that I found right quick. Here it is. They say, out among the 19 players who attempted over 400 three-pointers this season, only 3 are Europeans, while the rest were Americans. What does that tell you? No, they changed the game to make the game easier. Make the game more watchable to, like I said earlier, the commies. And I mean the commons. The ones who casually watch the game. Watch the NBA, go into a bar if it's on. Not to people like me and many others who watched the NBA since they was a child. Sometimes I think Gilbert Arenas is a plant. I think sometimes with his show, I think they gave him the show to steer the youth the wrong way when it comes to basketball. Not to say he doesn't say anything good. Sometimes he does say some stuff good. I think a couple of days ago he said that Allen Iverson would dominate in today's game, which I agree with. But some of the stuff he be saying, I think some of these younger people take it and they run with it because, Gilbert Arenas is a former All-Star in the NBA. He knows what he's talking about. But just because you used to play in the NBA doesn't always mean you know what you're talking about. And I think in Gil's case, I think he does this to get people over there. But I think the youth, way younger than me, can't detect that maybe sometimes Gilbert is trolling. And they run with it. Just like they was running with the whole Larry Bird wasn't that great sort of thing he had a couple years back. Which I think is absolutely stupid. But, yeah. They did not change the game for the Europeans. They changed the game to make it more watchable. But, yeah. This goes down as another chapter in Silly Gilly's sports show, I guess. All Gilbert has to do is just watch the European League. Maybe he does. Who knows? But anyways, I'm done with this.